Welcome, everyone. We're diving deep today into interconnectedness. And wow, we've got some really cool videos to explore this, from like ancient philosophy to quantum mechanics and even anthropology. So yeah, buckle up.
It's exciting because, we're not just scratching the surface here, right? These sources, they take us deep into different ways of thinking about interconnectedness, and they don't always agree.
Yeah. And that's what makes it so interesting. Right off the bat, I was fascinated by the connections between ancient wisdom and like how we see things today.
Oh, totally.
And how is everything interconnected?
Yeah.
We see this idea from the Stoics about the universe being like a living being, a rational being.
Right.
It's like we're all just little parts of this huge cosmic organism, like those intricate clockwork mechanisms where every single gear matters.
Yeah. It's such a powerful image, and it's amazing how that ancient idea, it pops up in modern concepts too, like ecology and systems thinking.
Oh, for sure.
Remember that bee and wildflower example from The Web of Life?
Hmm?
Exploring the interconnectedness of all things.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
It's so simple, right? The bee gets food, the flower gets pollinated, but that has ripple effects throughout the whole ecosystem.
It really makes you realize how everything is linked.
Doesn't it?
And that video, The Web of Life, does such a good job of bringing it home to our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Like even a simple purchase you make.
Oh, yeah.
Think of all the manufacturing, the shipping, the resources, the people involved. It's mind-boggling.
It really is. It shows how interconnected our world is, even in ways we don't even see.
Totally.
And that's just one example. We also have the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius from that video, The Universe Within. He believed in this sacred bond uniting all of creation, and that our thoughts can directly affect our happiness and even the world around us.
Yeah, that's a very different way of looking at interconnectedness.
It is.
It's a reminder that it's not just about physical systems.
Yeah.
It's also about our thoughts, our emotions, how we relate to each other.
Exactly.
And speaking of connections, the source, the interconnectedness of all things, Wade Davis, anthropologist, takes us into the realm of science, specifically genomics.
Oh, yeah. Anthropologist Wade Davis explains how genomics reveals this profound truth that we're all connected by the same genetic fabric. The concept of race, scientifically speaking, it's a fiction.
Right.
It's powerful. It's science showing us the interconnectedness of humanity.
So we're literally all related.
We are.
It really challenges how we categorize and separate ourselves.
It does.
Now get ready, because we're about to enter the quantum realm.
Okay.
Scientists alarmed as Google's quantum chip registers anomalies that shouldn't exist. This one blew my mind.
Oh, yeah. This video, it describes an experiment with Google's quantum computer, and the results were bizarre.
Yeah, they were.
They were running these simulations, and the chip was giving answers before the calculations were even finished.
What?
It's as if the chip was tapping into information from somewhere beyond our understanding of time and space.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know.
Who could explain this?
Well, the video dives into a few possibilities. Could the chip be interacting with some unknown force or dimension? Is our current understanding of quantum mechanics just incomplete? It even touches on the idea of parallel universes.
Whoa, hold on. Parallel universes.
It's wild, right?
This deep dive is getting crazier by the minute.
I know, it's a lot.
So what does it all mean? Are these quantum anomalies hinting at a deeper level of interconnectedness that we're only beginning to understand?
That's the big question, and it's one that we'll keep exploring, but these anomalies, along with other quantum mysteries like the delayed choice quantum eraser and quantum tunneling, they really make us reconsider what reality even is.
It's mind-blowing for sure. Okay, whoa. I need a minute to process all that quantum stuff.
It's intense.
Maybe we can bring things back down to earth for a bit.
Yeah, let's shift gears to a different perspective, but one that's just as mind-bending.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
The video, The Web of Life, Alan Watts on Interconnectedness. It features the philosopher Alan Watts, who had a really unique way of explaining these complex ideas.
Oh, I love Alan Watts. He makes even the most abstract concepts seem so approachable.
Right. He's great.
So what does he have to say about interconnectedness?
Well, he uses this brilliant analogy of a tapestry. On the front, you see all these distinct patterns and colors, but then you flip it over and you see this messy jumble of threads holding it all together.
Yeah.
It's we're so focused on the separate parts of life, we miss the underlying connections that make the whole thing work.
Yeah, it's like getting lost in the details of your day and forgetting about the big picture.
Exactly.
So Watts is urging us to step back and see that everything is interwoven.
Yes. He argues that our senses and minds, they naturally focus on specifics, and that creates the illusion of separation.
Okay, I see.
But if we could like zoom out our perspective, we'd see a much more unified reality.
Yeah, I like that.
And he goes even further, talking about levels of magnification. He gives this example of a seashell. Up close, it's incredibly intricate, but zoom out, and it's just this seemingly random collection of molecules, order, and chaos coexisting at different scales.
So we're always choosing how zoomed in or out we are, and that shapes how we see the world.
That's it.
It kind of reminds me of Emerson and the Transcendentalists, who believe that seeking independence in nature paradoxically leads to a deeper sense of connection with everything.
That's a great connection. It's like stepping outside of yourself to understand how you fit into the bigger picture.
I like that.
And this idea of interconnectedness, it's not just some abstract philosophy. It's like woven into the fabric of so many indigenous cultures.
Oh, yeah, the way David's video touched on that, too.
Right. He mentioned how many indigenous people see the world as this web of relationships where everything is interdependent.
Yeah, it's not just a metaphor for them. It's how they live and interact with the world.
And their deep understanding of ecological interconnectedness is reflected in their sustainable practices and their profound respect for all living things.
It's a big contrast to the way modern society often treats the environment. Like it's something separate from ourselves that we could just exploit without consequence.
It's a different worldview.
Yeah, it's like they see the threads of the tapestry while we're stuck looking at isolated patches.
That's a great way to put it.
Maybe learning from indigenous wisdom could be key to shifting our perspective and recognizing the interconnectedness of all things.
I think so.
But, it's not just about understanding it intellectually, right? It's about how we live.
Absolutely. One of the sources, Understanding Interconnectedness, Mindfulness for Humans, it explores how mindfulness practices can help us become more aware of this intricate web of relationships that we're a part of. By being present and attentive, we can start to see the connections more clearly.
Oh, so instead of just rushing through life on autopilot, mindfulness allows us to see those threads that connect us to everything around us.
Exactly.
It's like taking off a pair of blurry glasses and seeing the tapestry of reality in sharper focus.
Beautifully put. And this increased awareness, it can lead to a deeper sense of compassion, empathy, and responsibility in our actions.
Yeah.
And you recognize that everything is interconnected. It's harder to act selfishly or carelessly.
Definitely. It highlights how our choices have ripple effects that go way beyond ourselves.
They do.
Which reminds me of another concept that came up, karma. That too woo-woo for this discussion?
Not at all. Karma, it's often associated with Eastern religions, but it can also be understood in a more secular way.
Okay, how so?
It's the idea that every action has a consequence not just for ourselves, but for the web as a whole. It ties back to interconnectedness because it suggests our actions aren't isolated. They're part of this larger cycle of cause and effect.
So it's like a cosmic system of checks and balances.
You could say that.
If we act with kindness and generosity, we're creating positive ripples. But negativity and selfishness create harmful ripples that ultimately impact us all.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Our actions matter not just for ourselves, but for the entire web of life.
Makes you think.
It does.
So this brings us to a pretty crucial question. If we are truly interconnected, what responsibility do we have to each other and to the web of life as a whole?
That is the big question, and it seems like the perfect place to pause before diving into the final part of our exploration.
Okay, so we've journeyed through ancient philosophy, dove into the quantum realm, and even explored indigenous wisdom. And it's clear that interconnectedness, it's not just some abstract idea, right? It's like woven into the very fabric of existence.
It really is.
But where do we go from here? What does understanding all of this mean for how we actually live our lives?
That's the big question, isn't it? We ended the last part talking about responsibility, and I think that's where the rubber really meets the road.
Okay.
If our actions, they create these ripples that impact the entire web of life, then I think we really do have a moral obligation to act with awareness and compassion.
It's like we're all holding this delicate web together, and our choices can either strengthen those connections or weaken them.
That's a great way to think about it.
Feels like a lot of pressure.
It is a big responsibility, but it's also incredibly empowering. And, it's not a new idea. A lot of cultures have recognized this interconnectedness for centuries.
Like what?
Well, think of the concept of Ubuntu in Southern Africa. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of all humanity.
Yeah, I heard of Ubuntu. Isn't it often translated as like humanity towards others?
Exactly. It's the idea that our well-being is fundamentally intertwined with the well-being of everyone else. It encourages compassion, empathy, and cooperation.
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful philosophy and a powerful example of how interconnectedness can shape a society's values.
It's like that saying, we rise by lifting others. It really resonates with this idea that we can't truly thrive unless we're all thriving together.
Right.
But it seems like we often forget that in our individualistic, competitive world.
You're right. It's a perspective that can get lost, and it's not just about human-to-human connection, This extends to our relationship with the planet and all living things.
Right. We're part of nature, not separate from it.
Exactly, no matter how much concrete we pour.
It's a lesson that seems more urgent than ever. With the climate crisis and all the environmental challenges we're facing,
I agree.
ignoring our interconnectedness with the natural world is like sawing off the branch we're sitting on.
It is. So the question becomes, how do we start living in a way that honors this interconnectedness, that strengthens the web instead of fraying it?
That feels kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin? It's not like we can all just go live in eco-villages and renounce modern life.
You don't have to go off the grid to make a difference. It starts with awareness, with being mindful of our choices and their consequences.
Okay.
Recognizing those ripple effects even in small everyday actions.
So, paying attention to where our food comes from, how much we consume, how we treat others, even just being present and really listening when someone's talking.
Exactly. It's about being conscious of our impact on the web, and it's about cultivating compassion and empathy, realizing we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Our well-being is intertwined, whether we acknowledge it or not.
It's a shift from me thinking to we thinking, isn't it? Recognizing that we're part of a larger community, both human and ecological.
Beautifully said. And that shift, it doesn't require grand gestures. It's in the small, everyday choices, acts of kindness, generosity, choosing sustainable options, speaking up for what's right. It all adds up.
It's like we're each weaving our own threads into this grand tapestry of life. And the choices we make determine the patterns we create, both for ourselves and for the whole.
What a powerful image to end on this deep dive. Has been an incredible exploration of interconnectedness, from ancient philosophy to quantum mysteries to the wisdom of indigenous cultures. I hope it's given you a new lens through which to view the world and your place in it.
It definitely has for me and for our listener out there. I hope it's sparked some new insights and maybe even a little awe at the interconnectedness of it all. It's a reminder that we're not alone in this universe.
We're not.
We're part of something so much bigger than ourselves.
And that realization, while sometimes overwhelming, is also incredibly empowering. It humbles us to recognize our place in the grand scheme of things, but it also calls us to act, to make choices that contribute to the well-being of the whole.
So thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Until next time, stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, we're all connected.